heck are you? The trial starts in 30 minutes.
Keep your tail on, Tanner. I'm already on my way.
Just don't mess around, okay? People won't trust a predator lawyer if he can't be on time.
Not like lawyers were ever trusted in the first place. Anyway, just stay calm. I'll be there in a flash. See ya, choppers.
Don't call me that.
My name is Nick Wilde. Former conman, former police officer. Yeah, I recently left the ZPD. The reason? Well, let's just say I felt a different calling. Today is my first trial, in which I'll be defending a friend of mine. I'm sure we'll be seeing him later. To be honest, I'm kind of nervous about it all, but one thing I always remember and tell myself, never let them see they get to you. I sure as heck won't. My goal is to get an innocent verdict for all the wrongly accused, and that path starts here and now. I am Nick Wilde, defense attorney. March 14, 9:35 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Good morning, Wilde.
See? Told you I'd be here in a flash. So, what's up?
I'll tell you what's up, Wilde. Your client's been on the edge for the past hour since you hadn't shown up. Did you forget the daylight savings started yesterday?
No, I didn't, Choppers. And besides, he's always like that. Did you even notice the collar he's wearing? He tampers with that thing all the time. It's how he calms himself down. This is Boomer Tanner, my mentor and my defense aide in this case. He takes things a bit too seriously sometimes. When I first started practicing to become a lawyer, he almost immediately volunteered to guide me through law. I was genuinely surprised. A prey member wanted to help a predator, a fox. But Boomer insisted on helping me out, so here we are now. Although as you can tell today, he's not too happy with my timing.
Look, I don't really care if you guys are friends or not. You really need to be earlier to the courthouse so you can prepare. After all, not every attorney handles a murder case as their first.
A murder, huh? Interesting. Boy, thanks for adding on the pressure, Taylor.
Interesting? How could you think... never mind. Here, just take the police report so you at least know the basic facts. Trust me, the prosecutors here really don't hesitate to point out your flaws. Don't expect mercy just because you're a rookie.
Police report added to court record.
Vehicular manslaughter? I knew it was a bad idea for him to finally get a license. He probably drives more recklessly than an old 100-yard dash.
You're really not going to win over anyone with that kind of attitude towards your client. Speaking of which, you really need to have a word with him before going to the courtroom. He's been really nervous about everything going on. Plus, I hear he's not the most social creature. Talk to him. He's going to need a lot of reassuring.
Whatever you say, boss.
Please, Wilde. I'm just your mentor.
Sure. Now, about my client here. This is Alex Lykos, a wolf I met a while back. To put it simply, he is a nerd. In a good way. He loves video games and he's very smart, but he doesn't exactly feel comfortable around a lot of people. In fact, our former partner and I got really tied up in this business a long time ago. But that's another story for another day. Now, I'm looking at him as my very first client. Let's hope this goes well. Yo, Howler.
Nick,
Calm down, buddy. Just don't let your emotions run wild here. The more nervous you seem, the more everyone in that courtroom will think you're guilty.
Nick, I've been thinking about the conditions here. This might be really difficult.
Oh, you're talking about what's written in the police report?
Yeah, plus, I've already had to talk to the prosecutor. He's convinced I did it. The fact that I just got a license in a car, I'm still inexperienced slightly with driving, not to mention the victim and the motive.
Please, you couldn't possibly have a motive.
You want to bet on that, Nick? The victim was... Jake Hunter.
Hunter? You mean the guy in the ZPD? The one you used to be friends with?
Yeah, and that's just it. We used to be friends. Now he's just a stuck-up jerk. I kinda wanted to be friends with him again, but after everything he did, the humiliation he put me through, I almost don't care that he's dead now. Feels like he got what he deserved.
Well, crap. That's a strong motive. I'm sure the prosecution won't hesitate to bring it up in court. But despite all that, I can't bring myself to believe my buddy Alex would kill someone, even if it was someone he held resentment towards. I know him personally. I know he's innocent, and I intend to prove that today. March 14, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 1.
Court is now in session for the trial of Alex Lykos.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is, ready, Your Honor.
I don't believe I've seen you in the courtroom before. You are Nicholas Wilde, correct?
Yes, that's me, Your Honor. Why am I suddenly being put in the spotlight here?
If I remember right, I was informed this is your first trial. I know the atmosphere can bring on a lot of pressure, so I want to be sure you're ready. I will ask you a few simple questions about the case before we begin, understand?
Understood, Your Honor. Okay, this shouldn't be too hard. But in the rare case that I actually forget something, I can always just check the court record for the information I need.
Here is the first question. What is the defendant's name?
Select your answer. Alex Lykos, Boomer Tanner, Jake Hunter. The defendant? That's easy. His name is Alex Lykos.
Correct. Now for the next question. This is a murder case. What is the victim's name?
Select your answer. Boomer Tanner, Jake Hunter, Winston Payne. The victim's name is Jake Hunter, Your Honor.
Yes, that's correct. One last question before we go on. How was the victim killed? What was used for the crime?
Select your answer. Struck with blunt object. Electrocuted. Vehicular manslaughter. The victim was killed when he was hit by a car. The specific crime here is vehicular manslaughter.
Yes, very good. You've answered all my questions. I see you have a good grip on this case. You seem much more relaxed now.
Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel all that relaxed, that's for sure.
Now then, the prosecution may give their opening statement.
Thank you, Your Honor. On the previous night, March 13th, an innocent wolf who worked for the ZPD was tragically killed by a vehicle last night. It was determined that the defendant's vehicle was used, as the model of the car and license plate number match this information. Furthermore, the defendant has no alibi. Neighbors from his apartment complex claim that he did not arrive until around 2 a.m., which is quite a few hours after the crime.
The court accepts these items into evidence.
Alex's vehicle added to court record. Neighbor testimony added to court record.
Wilde, remember to pay close attention to all the evidence presented. In court, evidence is your only weapon. Focus on it and use it wisely. If you can't put it to good use, let's just say this story won't have a happy ending.
Just the thought of Alex being my boss makes me feel awful.
To further support the statement, the prosecution would like to call the defendant to the stand.
That's an unusual move, calling the defendant as the first witness. All we can do for right now is listen, Wilde. Every single word here is important. You can't really interfere with the prosecution's questioning or how the defendant will answer. So let's just hope your client doesn't say anything unfortunate.
Oh boy, Alex has a habit of speaking without thinking. This could be bad.
Defendant, please state your name and occupation for the record.
My name is Alex. Alex Lykos. I'm a programmer for smartphones.
Defendant, is it true that the vehicle the murderer used is yours?
Yeah, it's mine, but I didn't drive it that night.
No further information is needed there, defendant. You can address that matter when it's asked about. Now, is it also true that you arrived at your apartment very late last night?
Yes, that's right. It was just about 2 a.m.
And do you have any reason why you arrived so late?
Hey, I told you this already. I had a project to finish that night, and I had to work really late. The fact that I hadn't adjusted to daylight savings didn't help either.
Aha! Your Honor, the defendant is clearly lying.
Lying? About what, Mr. Payne?
The defendant could not have spent that entire night nocturnal co-workers informed the police that he had left the office just after midnight. Add that to the fact that there's only a 30-minute drive between his home and work. Why the large detour, you ask? It's simple. The murder was premeditated. He spent that 1.5-hour gap planning and committing the crime.
Objection! That's not true! You can't accuse him of murder just based off that. It could be nothing more than a coincidence or bad luck.
Yeah, he's right. I told you before anyway. My car was stolen that night. That's why it took me so long to get home.
Congratulations, Mr. Wilde. Your first few words in court has gone to waste. There is much more besides the simple time gap that connects Mr. Lykos to the murder. Or, you see, the defendant also has a motive.
Motive. Alex brought that up earlier. He said the prosecution knew the motive.
Defendant, I would like to discuss the matter of the victim, Jake Hunter. Tell me, did you and the victim happen to know each other? Perhaps as children?
Yeah, we knew each other, kinda.
Alex, you're really not gonna help yourself with kinda. Tell the truth.
Yeah, we knew each other pretty well actually. We were friends throughout high school.
How touching. Yet you still had some bad blood between each other. We had a word with Officer Judy Hawks, who has worked with both you and the victim before. She stated that you had some very bad history with Mr. Hunter. That you always were teased whenever he saw you. I have a feeling some harsh bullying and humiliation were being exerted recently. He called you an omega. Quite the insult for a wolf. With all this awful treatment going on for so many years, it would very likely hurt you to the core. That is why you plotted the most foul revenge. Am I correct about all this?
Dang it. This is really bad. Alex is going down for sure. Oh boy. Handshaking. Eyesight. Fading. Am I really gonna lose this easily?
Based on the defendant's silence, I will take that as a yes. The defendant is clearly guilty. No further questions.
A very convincing case, Mr. Payne. Does the defense have anything to ask?
Come on, Wilde, this shouldn't be hard. Find something that reveals a hole in the prosecution's logic. Think, Wilde. Any question about the crime can make progress.
Focus, Nick. Focus. What should I ask Alex regarding that night? Select your answer. What was your project? What do you know about the crime? Was anyone else around the scene? Alex, Mr. Lykos. It's true that you saw the crime scene after the murder, right?
Yeah, that's right. I came across it not too long after leaving work. Why do you ask?
I want to know what you remember about it. For example, did you see anyone else around the scene?
Let me think. Mostly I was focused on Jake's body there, but I did see someone else. There was this dingo a little ways away. He looked like he was in total shock as he stared at the crime scene. I guess I can understand why someone would think I had done it.
I thought so. There's a witness to this crime. Mr. Payne, is there any information about this witness?
How fortunate you should ask, Mr. Wilde. The defendant is telling the truth on this one. This dingo is a key witness, the one who reported the crime in the first place. And wouldn't you know it, I had a plan to testify today. So why not bring him up now? Your Honor, the prosecution would like to call this witness to the stand. Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
I am a hero of the law. When criminals see me, you can watch how fast they try to flee. But no matter where they run, or what they plan, I catch them red-handed. The name's Speeds. Steve Speeds.
Thank you for that entertaining introduction, witness.
Pleasure is mine, prosecutor. Now, you got any questions for this guy? I'm not here just to look good, you know, but I would love to have such a purpose if that's not too much trouble.
Jeez, narcissist much?
Ahem! Mr. Speeds, please tell the court what you witnessed on the night of March 13th. The client will have no details whatsoever.
Ha! No problemo, prosecutor.
This guy seems way too excited to be testifying about witnessing his murder. It's like he has no proper sense of emotion.
Alright, Nick, this is where we get our chance. The witness will be giving his testimony twice, so make sure to pay close attention on the first run, because the second one is your time to shine. For now, we just have to listen, so perk up those fox ears.
Ahem. The court is ready to hear your testimony, Mr. Speeds. Please proceed.
On it, Your Honor. Prepare to be blown away by the fabulous Steve Speeds.
Witness testimony. What I saw.
On that night, I was walking home after working late. I walked down 2nd Avenue and saw that Hunter fella about to cross the street. Just then, I heard a car zooming towards him. It seemed to accelerate as it got closer. Then I heard a screech, a quick scream from Hunter, and then it was silent. I was in shock and couldn't look away. Just then, that wolf in the defendant's chair stepped out of the car. He took a quick look at the victim and then fled from the scene. I called the police about it immediately. I remember the time. It was just after 11 o'clock p.m. That's all I gotta say.
Interesting. That's quite a decisive testimony.
Indeed, this testimony clearly shows that the defendant committed a crime.
So Alex is partly suspicious because he left work late, but Steve is treated normally? How delightful.
Mr. Wilde, you may begin your cross-examination of the witness.
The cross-examination.
This is your big chance, Wilde. Now's the time to point out the lies in that testimony.
Lies? He was lying? I must be slipping. How did I not see it? I was a con man, dang it.
Listen, Wilde, if your client is really innocent, then the witness has to be lying somewhere in his testimony. Of course, not every witness means to lie. Sometimes they just remember things wrong. But in this case, there is a flat-out contradiction in that testimony. You're the lead attorney, so you'll have to figure out this one. Just look in the court record and compare each statement with the evidence. If you find a contradiction, you need to have evidence to support it, so make sure to present the right piece. If you're wrong, well, a penalty isn't something you want to earn on your first case, so think it through, okay?
Got it, Tanner. Thanks. Alright, let's listen to that testimony again and find a contradiction. Alex will be found innocent. Cross-examination. What I saw.
On that night, I was walking home after working late. I walked down 2nd Avenue and saw that Hunter fella about to cross the street. Just then, I heard a car zooming towards him. It seemed to accelerate as it got closer. Then I heard a screech, a quick scream from Hunter, and then it was silent. I was in shock and couldn't look away. Just then, that wolf in the defendant's chair stepped out of the car. He took a quick look at the victim and then fled from the scene. I called the police about it immediately. I remember the time. It was just after 11 o'clock p.m. That's all I gotta say.
Objection! I have an objection, Your Honor. There's a contradiction in that testimony.
Oh? And what is that, Mr. Wilde?
Found it?
It was staring me right in the face. Mr. Speeds, you stated that the time was just after 11 p.m. when you witnessed the murder. However, the police report states that it did not occur until exactly 12:08 a.m. There was a 1-hour gap between your testimony and the actual time of murder. How do you explain that?
Gah! You know, that's a good question, Mr. Lawyer.
Order in the court. Witness, the defense has asked you an important question. Why did you state the time of death wrong in your testimony?
I think the answer here is obvious, Your Honor. The witness is lying!
This is a colossal waste of time, Your Honor. There is a perfectly good reason for this, I think.
Stumped already? Man, this is too easy.
Wait a second, Your Honor. I remember something else about the scene. This should help explain why I didn't say the time right.
Very well. You may append your testimony.
Great job there, Wilde. Lies will only bring out more lies. If you can keep finding contradictions like this, then the prosecution's case will be torn to shreds. Stay sharp, Wilde. The battle has only begun.
I got it, Choppers. Though I am still pretty nervous about this whole scenario. Let's just see what Mr. Speeds has to say about this now. Listen to every last word. In this testimony, why I had the time wrong.
So, when I was walking down the street, see, I had my own pocket watch with me. I was checking the time right before the murder, but it must have stopped working an hour before. So when it was actually right after midnight, I thought it was still around 11 o'clock p.m. That's why I was so sure about the time beforehand. Sorry for the misunderstanding, folks.
That does seem to explain why you were incorrect about the time.
Incidentally, do you happen to have that watch of yours on hand right now?
Right here, everyone! Take a good look at it and gape in awe. Top of the line quality. Or so I thought. Guess it decided to betray me, the naughty thing.
Your Honor, the prosecution would like to submit this item into evidence.
Very well. The court accepts this request.
Speed's pocket watch added to court record.
Mr. Wilde, you may begin your cross-examination.
I think I got it now. All I need to do is compare testimony and evidence together. If there's a contradiction, I need to point it out without hesitation. Alright, Speeds, here we go with round 2. Cross-examination. Why I had the time wrong.
So, when I was walking down the street, see, I had my own pocket watch with me. I was checking the time right before the murder, but it must have stopped working an hour before.
Objection! Aha! I've caught you in another lie, Mr. Speeds.
Hey, pal, the first one wasn't a lie, and I sure as heck wouldn't lie in court, K?
Well then, I hope you're ready to explain this. You say you had the time wrong because your watch had broke that night. However, looking at it right now, it appears to be working just fine. The hands are moving on it. Not only that, but like your testimony, this watch is also an hour behind. This doesn't sound like any kind of innocent mistake to me. What do you say about it?
Gah! Well now, you really like laying on the questions, don't you? That's cute. You're cute. Did anyone ever tell you that?
Witness, please do not stall the court and answer the defense's question.
Yes. I would like to know myself. This is becoming a jumbled mess.
That watch itself is an interesting subject. One thing I would like to know is why it's set to an hour behind even after being fixed.
I think that's what we all want to know. And based on that face right now, it looks like the witness is struggling to come up with an answer.
Well, wait! I know now. I know why my watch was wrong as well. Please, could I get another chance to speak?
It is becoming increasingly difficult to trust you if you keep changing your testimony, but the court will grant you one more chance to explain yourself. Please tell us why your watch was off that night.
Yes, gladly, Your Honor. This should explain it all.
Oh, we'll just have to see about that, won't we? Witness testimony. Why the watch was off.
One thing that I should clear up is that I was actually driving myself when I saw the murder. I immediately pulled over and got out to investigate. Something had been up with my car clock at the time, but I wasn't aware of it. I had my watch set to that clock. Anyways, the point is I saw the defendant's vehicle hit the victim, and then I called the police. That's all.
Wait, you were actually driving when you saw the crime?
That's right. I was approaching the intersection when I saw the murder happen. I might have crashed myself if it wasn't for my quick reaction.
But why did you not bring this up before?
I didn't feel it was that important. After all, I came here to testify about what I saw, not specifically what I was doing at the time. It doesn't matter anyway.
I see. Mr. Wilde, you may begin to cross-examine now.
Cross-examine what? I mean, I know he's lying, but I don't think there's any solid evidence here.
Wilde, here's another quick lesson for you. You've probably realized you can't point out any contradictions for sure, so here's another tactic. Press the witness.
Press him?
Start to add on some pressure. Raise some doubt in each statement. If nothing appears contradictory at first, you can press him and ask more about specific details. If you're onto something, you can have the witness update his testimony. Then maybe you can really get somewhere. You'll have to try pressing him here, so now's as good a time as any to practice. Go for it.
Alright, let's see what happens when I bring on the pressure. Cross-examination. Why the watch was off.
One thing that I should clear up is that I was actually driving myself when I saw the murder.
Hold it! There's quite a difference between walking and driving. Why didn't you tell us this before?
Listen, rookie, I already said it once before. It wasn't important. So what if I had my own car at the time? It doesn't really matter. I saw the defendant kill that hunter guy.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter.
You've got that face that implies you're thinking something stupid, Wilde. Just move on for now. There's much more to this testimony.
I immediately pulled over and got out to investigate.
Hold it! So you actually weren't in total shock when you first saw that murder. You were able to get out and look around the crime scene before reporting it. Is that right?
You got it. Right on the money, pal. Maybe you're not that much of a rookie after all.
Rookie? Not important now, Nick. Maybe I can have an elaborate answer regarding that part of his testimony. Select your answer. When did you call the police? What did you do while investigating? What was the victim like at the time? Mr. Speeds, I'd like you to add some more information about that statement. Please tell us what you did while investigating before you called the police.
Can't get enough of the testimony, huh? The pleasure is all mine, kid. Let's see. What was it I did again? Oh yeah. I got out of the right door of my car after seeing the murder. Then I took a look at both the defendant and the victim.
Objection! Your Honor, there was a vital contradiction in that last statement.
Is there? I honestly didn't see one.
Yes, there definitely is. And the defendant's car is the evidence. Now, most cars have the steering wheel and pedals, the driver's side, on the left of the car. However, in the defendant's case, this is a car imported from overseas, where the driver's side is on the right. Mr. Speed stated he got out of the right side once he saw the murder, but the odds of him having the same kind of car are very slim. Mr. Speeds, were you really in your own car that night? I want an answer!
Gah! You, with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are?
Just answer the question, Mr. Speeds.
Your Honor, if I may,
What is it, Mr. Payne?
what the witness has stated is actually correct. His vehicle is also from overseas. Being as he had previously testified is simply walking, I did not bring up the fact that his and the defendant's cars were similar. No apologies, Your Honor.
I see. Well, Mr. Wilde, it appears the witness is actually correct. It would have been completely logical for him to exit his car on the right side. Do you have any problems with this testimony now?
Select your answer. There is a problem. There's no problem here. Your Honor, there was still a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The witness stated he was looking at his car's clock radio when the murder occurred, which is why he had the time wrong. However, looking at his vehicle's information, it appears to be a more recent model than the defendant's. This model has a clock that actually follows satellite time. Therefore, it can't be wrong about the time. That is a blatant contradiction of facts.
Oh, I see.
The real reason the witness had the time wrong is because he... Select your answer. Used the defendant's car. Broke his watch. Is only guessing the time. You're lying! You didn't really use your own vehicle that night, but rather the one belonging to Mr. Lykos.
Oh yeah, bud? Prove it. Prove that I used it.
I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed Jake Hunter. Mr. Speeds, you seem very confident about the time of death during this whole session. Understandable, since you were checking the clock right as you hit the victim. That brief moment before the killing became burned into your mind. That is why you've been so sure of the time!
Order! Order in the court. Mr. Speeds, please elaborate for the court. Did you kill Jake Hunter with the defendant's vehicle?
I didn't. I mean, look, the car, that wolf, he... Yeah! Shut up, shut up, shut up! I hate you. I hate all of you. It was him, I tell you, he did it. He should burn. Burn! Give him death.
Order in the court, I say.
Well, Mr. Speeds, are you ready to confess your crime to this court? You used the defendant's car that night to frame him, didn't you?
You forgot one thing.
Oh boy, what's he getting at now?
While that car's clock may be running an hour slow right now, it proves nothing. How do you know it wasn't running slow on the night of the murder? If you can't prove that, then your argument is worth nothing.
Oh no, he's right. There's nothing I can use to prove it was slow that night. Damn it, I was so close. Sorry, Alex. There's nothing else I can do. I failed you.
Not so fast, Mr. Speeds.
But Boomer?
Listen, Wilde, you can't give up now. Not like this.
But Boomer, it's over. I can't prove that car clock was slow on the night of the murder. Nobody can.
Well, that is true, but that doesn't mean you can't still win. Think outside the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Turn the case on its head and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock an hour slow that night? If you can figure that out, then you still have a huge chance of winning. Can you think of any evidence in the court record that can prove the car clock was running slow?
Select your answer. There is evidence. There isn't evidence. Wait, I think I've got it. There isn't any evidence.
What?
There's no physical evidence, but it looks like Mother Nature is on our side.
Aha! Now you've got it. Go for it, Wilde.
Is the defense ready to present evidence? Please show us evidence that proves why the clock was running slow.
There isn't any evidence, per se, but there is evidence provided by the planet. The reason Mr. Lykos' car clock was slow that night is because of... Select your answer. Daylight savings time, a satellite blackout, a meteor shower. Remember that Mr. Lykos' car clock is from an older model vehicle, so it doesn't follow satellite time. The clock has to be adjusted manually should the time change. And as we all know, daylight savings time began yesterday, meaning the time is set to an hour forward. The defendant hadn't yet changed the clock to match the new time. That's why it's an hour slow. Proof enough for you, Mr. Speeds? Care to object now?
Mr. Payne, what has happened to the witness now?
He has recovered from his shock and was taken in by the ZPD. He has confessed to his crime and will be sentenced properly.
I see. Very good, Mr. Wilde.
Yes, Your Honor?
I must say, I'm genuinely impressed. I've never seen a rookie able to find their client innocent of murder on the very first day, not to mention catching the real murderer in the process. You seem to be very skilled in law. I applaud you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Now that everything has been taken care of, I will pass my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Alex Lykos, not guilty. Court is now adjourned.
It turns out Mr. Speeds was a common thief. He would out to patrol those streets late at night when not many people were around. Since Alex worked late that night, he was able to steal the vehicle, just like Alex had predicted. As he was making his getaway, the victim came along and got in his way. Not wanting to be caught, Speeds kept going without slowing, and then... well, you know. March 14, 11:30 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 1.
Congratulations, Wilde. That was surprisingly fast. To be honest, I'm surprised the judge didn't give a not guilty as soon as he saw that foolish witness on the stand.
Yeah, he was pretty pathetic, alright.
Now, about your defendant. I think he wants a word with you.
Hey, Howard, get over here.
I'll leave you to your business.
Nick, thanks so much. That's one energy that I can stop worrying about.
Hey, no need to thank me, buddy. Anything to help out an old friend.
No, I really need to thank you for this. It means a lot to me. Now I can finally be free of the pain I felt from Hunter over these past months and years. But also, looking back, I honestly feel sorry for his death. He may have been kind of egotistical and arrogant, but he didn't deserve to be killed in such a swift and short manner. He deserved to be working with you and Judy in the ZPD, helping make Zootopia a better place. He should be helping to stay low to his reputation and protect Predator and Prey alike. In fact, if I hadn't been so late and irresponsible that night, this never would have happened.
I'm glad you feel that way about Hunter now, Alex. He honestly was a good cop when on duty. Now that you've moved on, I'm wondering, did he do the same?
Well, I guess only time will tell.
And a quick visit to you-know-where, possibly.
That too. Well, now that I'm free again, I guess I'll be seeing you around, Nick.
See you soon, Howard.
Well, I guess that settles it. Congratulations again on winning your first case, Wilde. By the way, didn't you say that Alex was part of the reason you became a lawyer?
Yeah, I kinda owed him one after all the things we've been through.
But personal relationships can't be the only reason you left the ZPD and started this job. There's gotta be more to it than just that. Why else did you become a lawyer?
Well... what did I do wrong? What did I do? About that. That's another story, for another day.
You're gonna have to promise me you'll tell one day. That is, assuming you still want to do this. Thinking of quitting now?
Very funny, Choppers. I'm serious when I say I won't be leaving this profession anytime soon. This is what I felt was my calling. There's gonna be more people out there who need to be proven innocent, and I'll be the one to reach out to them.
Well, in that case, welcome! Welcome to law, Nick Wilde. Oh, and I think we're gonna be together for a while, so how about we go by first names from now on?
So you're not my mentor anymore?
Don't get me wrong, I'm still your mentor, but this seems like it'll get a bit more personal from now on, so just go with it, okay? Oh, and for the record, my name's Boomer, not Choppers.
Trying to break my nickname streak, are you? Dream on.
Well, I tried. Now, how about we get out of here and grab something to eat?
Sounds good. I'm in the mood for something meaty.
I get the feeling we'll be arguing about food more than once in the future. Anyway, let's just head out.
And so, that ended my very first case as a lead defense attorney. Alex went free, Boomer and I became better friends, and I began my journey in law. I'll continue to help out every last one who needs my help, predator or prey. I believe those who are truly innocent, and I'll make sure to stop them at the end. Former conman, former police officer. I am now Nick Wilde, defense attorney, and this is just the beginning. Case 1, Turnabout Beginnings. The end.